Hey there, welcome to the Lumière channel. Welcome to What's Holding You Back. Or how are you holding yourself back? So here's your pile. Bam. So how are you holding yourself back? You know, what's holding you back? So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. So I'll give you a hot second to feel into which pile might have your answer of how you're holding yourself back, how you might be holding yourself back. I'll see you in your pile. Please don't forget to like the video if it resonates with you or if you like this kind of reading, and leave me a comment too with your feedback. Thank you. Hey there, pile 2. Welcome. How are you holding yourself back? So we have the before tarot that we're using, which I love. The art is so gorgeous in the before tarot, and we're also using Believe in Your Own Magic oracle deck. So the cards that came out to represent how you're holding yourself back is the 3 of Cups in the reverse and Voyage, card number 34. You already have all the answers in the reverse. So how you might be holding yourself back is, this is either somebody who it's interesting because they obviously they definitely relate. I feel like you're somebody who either might go all in what other people are saying and what the crowd is doing and what is popular, what's trending, what people are advising you to do. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Da, 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 da. And I might be speaking to somebody here who either goes all in or withdraws from that completely. So it's difficult to find that middle ground between the outside world's recommendations, suggestions, opinions, and what your own intuition or what your own heart or path is asking of you. You know, I feel like something gets drowned. Either the opinions of everybody get drowned, and in that are probably some really good tips that you might want to integrate along with your own voice, or you listen so much to your own voice that you maybe shun what might be good ideas, or shunning your inner voice and embracing what everybody else is saying because everybody else knows better. So let's go ahead and dig a little bit deeper into how you're holding yourself back. Let's get an accompaniment to this. One more. Okay. Oh, we have more cards than I thought. I feel like taking risks is something that you don't do, and I feel like it definitely comes from fear. Fear of failure, fear of embarrassing yourself in front of the group of people, fear of embarrassing yourself to yourself. You know what I mean? Where if I fail, what does this mean about my belief in myself? If I fail, what does this mean about my ideas? And therefore, you hold yourself back. And if you follow what the group does or what the whatever does, it's nice to have that excuse because you can say, oh, well, I followed what everybody else is doing. It's just not working for me. This isn't a conversation to have to scold you. This is just a conversation. Sometimes we don't know how we hold ourselves back. The 8 of Swords. We don't know how, sometimes we can't see beyond ourselves, right? Like, I forget which conference I was at, but someone said you can't see inside your own jar. Like, you can't see the label of your own jar because you're in it. You're not outside it. So people can be looking at you as someone who is X, Y, and Z, but you don't see that about yourself, right? Whether it's positive, negative, or just basic type of information. I feel like you don't see how your thoughts and how you view things, your viewpoint of the world and how things can happen can restrict your actions, right? You hand yourself, you might have a part of you that hands itself over to the greater good or to the powers that be in a way, and that might be something that holds you back as opposed to sort of integrating and steering your own life in a way that you take a stand and say, this is where I want to go. So I'm kind of seeing that scene in Wide Awake. I love the size. It's one of Katy Perry's greatest songs. In the music video of Wide Awake, there's the point where the inner child of the character Katy Perry is playing stomps its leg on the ground, and just waves of earth tremors erupt from that singular point of this little child standing their ground and saying, like, no, I'm gonna take a stand here. There's something there about that being difficult, I think, for you. And when you do that, it's almost like there's no middle ground. I feel like integration is something that feels a bit, I don't want to say difficult, but integration for this pile is something that you might want to consider looking into. But let's not talk solution here. We're going to talk about how you're holding yourself back. We will pull a guidance or two to see how to, resolve that. But there's an all or nothing attitude. It's either all for everybody else or all for what I'm doing. And that's something that holds you back. So in clarifying this message, we have a lot of cards that decided to come out. And the majority of them are major arcana. So to me, this tells me that I'm talking to somebody who really does have faith in the powers that be, in the structures of the world. Whether it's the universal rules and laws, or whether it's just how society works, right? This is somebody who is very aware that a lot of what they're able to do depends on external forces. Just by this amount of major arcana out here, it's like 3 majors. One court card, which I want to say is you, for sure, the Queen of Pentacles, which is great. I think you definitely are somebody who goes after what they want and someone who is practical. You are practical. You are practical, actually, even from what I said. You're someone who sees the structures in the world and goes, okay, I have to work within these structures. I have to draw between the lines, within the lines, and keep in there. That's what I'm supposed to do. You know what you kind of have to do to stay clear of trouble and not cause too much noise. And you're someone who's strong, right? You like to take action, and maybe you start. It might be something that it's easier for you to start things, but I feel like going the distance on certain things is difficult. We have the Ace of Wands, we have Temperance, we have the Tower in reverse, and we have the Hierophant. I feel like you're someone that gets a lot of mental messages. I feel like you're someone who has a lot of intuitive hits, and you get a lot of them, but I don't feel like you actually know that you're getting an intuitive hits. I don't feel like you are aware of that. They come to you latent, and I think a lot of your I feel like you're a pretty intuitive person. I think you're actually highly intuitive. Above average, I'm gonna say here. I feel like you are reluctant to, you get a lot of ideas. I feel like spirit talks to you. To me, the way I think about spirit and intuition, I like to think of it like in the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the messenger. The Holy Spirit is the voice, right? So it speaks to you and you speak to it to send the messages. But I digress. I feel like you have desire, but you hold yourself back from it. Of course, this is why you're here. I think you get scared of what it could look like, of it crumbling down, of you looking like a fool, especially as you might be somebody who has a high status in the world. This could be somebody who has a high status in their family, right? Maybe you're somebody who your family looks up to, or maybe you have something to prove with your family. Maybe you're somebody who your friends have a certain idea of you. Like, I feel like this is somebody who cares about what other people think, which is normal, by the way. Don't let people tell you different. That is absolutely normal to care about what people think. Hello. But I feel like you don't want to be found out as like an imposter. You don't want to be found out as like a failure. And so you stay in the lines. You color in the lines. You don't do things that are outliers because you know what it is. You know that if you wild out and do something that isn't what pile 2 would do, it would be obvious because you're by the book. So that's what holds you back. This part of you that isn't bad. It's just the thing that when you're wondering, why don't I take this? I have such a great idea. This sounds really good. And then when you share it, or when you think about it more, when you're about to take that leap to do it, you go, oh, you hesitate. You hesitate. You look at it, you know it's nice, you know it's shiny, but you hesitate and you hold yourself back. You calibrate yourself. You go, okay, well, let's just temper that down. Right? Let's just, okay, maybe I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to take this, I want to da. Maybe let me just, you yank yourself back from doing the thing. So I want to see what Spirit has to say about how to move through this space. I feel like you're someone who wants to know everything before you act. And that's something that, my friend, is holding you back, because I don't feel like you can know everything. Something I like to remind myself is that Spirit will show you just like the next step. It won't show you the whole plan, because our brains would explode. Maybe not, but we may not be able to fathom the whole thing, or be able to handle the whole thing. There's somebody who I follow who used to be a dancer. They're still a dancer, but they got injured, and they thought after recovery it would maybe be like a year before they got to dance again, 2 years before they got to dance again, 3 years before they got to dance again. It ended up being 7 years before they could dance again. And it's one of those things where when we find out that that's how long something might take, we being humans, like, we can't handle that. Knowing that it's going to take you 7 years to find the love of your life. Knowing that it's going to take you 7 years to get over a wound. Knowing that it's going to take you 7 years to get the job that you are actually going to be happy at. Know that it's going to take you 7 years to have the money and income that you want, and be living the dream that you want. It feels like it fills people with such despair, because 7 years feels so huge. But if you're given the next step and the next step and the next step and the next step, yes, it keeps you holding on to hope, but it also occupies what you're able to do during that time, And he said, he saw that he had to go through those things, and he wouldn't be able to get back to dancing had he been in the state of mind that he had been before. So it's how life goes sometimes. But I digress. What I mean to say is, sometimes you just won't see the whole picture, because you're just gonna get the next step, and then you follow the next step, and you just sort of live by faith, which can be really annoying, which is why we come to these readings, right? Give me the answers now. But it's like, bro. So what is the guidance for my friend here to move them through this part of them that holds them back? How can they navigate through this space to move forward? We have unexpected visitors. Interesting. So see, this is such a social thing for you. There's definitely some people involved in this. It could be old people, like literally. But it's so funny because not only do you have people here like you had here, you also have ride the wave at the bottom of the deck, which is more water here, which to me is telling me ride your intuitive hits. You know, give them credence, give them space, allow yourself to move through those intuitive hits that you get about doing something, about taking action on something, and actually like follow through. I don't feel like you have a weak follow through. If you know you have a weak follow through in this pile, then be better about that with yourself. But I don't think that's the thing that holds you back. I think it's actually failing, not so much the follow through. The follow through might be something that, if you do have an issue with that, or a blockage there, it's something that is tied to, oh, what will people think? Like, it's the thing that makes you hesitate. Unexpected visitors in reverse. Let's go ahead and read that. I'm going to intuit what that is for you. But what'll help is unexpected visitors. How interesting. This could have something to do with children. I'm not sure if being around kids or playing with childlike stuff will be of help to you. Nostalgia is hitting everything these days. Things are making a comeback. So if it's something that you used to enjoy doing, do it. If it's something childish or enjoying childish looked at media, it could be something. There's something about children here. If you got kids, you got access to play with them. Okay, I'm going to read this to you, but I want you to take a hot breath, okay? Unpleasant news is only unpleasant when you resist accepting what is. Sometimes the thing most desired is kept away from you because it's not for your highest good of you or others. Sometimes there is loss or disappointment due to a destiny whose pattern can't be understood yet, definitely. Change is something that may be forced upon you like bad weather that threatens a boat. Adapt to the shift in conditions. This lady's on a boat. This is so crazy. Adapt to the shift in conditions and think how beautifully the sky will be afterward. Accept what is, and a more fulfilled path will soon be revealed. Exactly what I was saying. Remember that if you expect the unexpected, nothing can come as a shock. So I feel like what this is saying is to sort of lean into the stuff that you think is going to happen. That's called shadow work. There's a part of shadow work where you do face the fears that you have. Mentally, I'm seeing here for you because of that 8 of Swords. With riding the wave, you're going to be okay. I feel like this is something that you have to learn. The only way you learn you're going to be okay is not if people tell you, but if you actually live it. So unexpected visitors here is talking about bad news, but I feel like while this could be the case, the thing that's going to help you and guide you through this space is unexpected events. I feel like this is definitely asking you to take leaps of faith in what you're about to do or in the things that you want to do moving forward, and expect the unexpected, including good stuff happening as well as some not so savory things happening. But I feel like that's just letting you know to open your mind up to what can be, because I really, really feel like this is this is a lesson learned by action, and the lesson is it can be okay. Your psyche is set up in such a way that the best way to stop yourself from holding yourself back is to do the things that you're holding yourself back from doing, and seeing that the world doesn't burn down, and seeing that nobody might care, and seeing that people do care, and like essentially living out the consequences of that action, because then you'll see that what you thought was going to happen may not be as scary as you thought. it was going to be. I hope that makes sense. I had a friend who was writing a book, and she was saying, I have some finishing touches I want to do. I want to do some edits. And I was like, tell me about that. And so she told me that, we distilled the conversation to this. She said, I'm just scared that some people may not like the book because of how this goes. So I'm trying to figure out how it should go. And I said, girl, let me tell you this right now. Some people are not going to like your book. They're not going to like your book. Right now, people who don't even know you, who have not read this book, don't like this book. Simply because that's just how it is. They will not like this book. They don't like it. Does that mean you're not going to publish it for the people that would like it? Does that mean that you're not going to have the people who it's for experience it? Because I'm going to tell you right now, people don't like it. No matter what you do, people will not like this book. So what are you going to do about that? Nothing. You publish a damn book and keep it moving. Because there's always going to be somebody that doesn't like what you're doing, who has something to say about it, one way or another. So is that going to stop you then from producing what you need to produce to the people that need it? If the people is you, if it comes to your love life, are you going to hold your breath, or are you not going to cut this thing off, or are you not going to lean in and expose your heart? What is the thing that you need to do here, my friend? Essentially, taking the actions and breathing and riding the wave of what happens afterwards is what'll help you through it, because you'll see that it's not most likely as bad as you thought it was going to be. And even if what you thought happened, what you thought would happen happens, the world doesn't burn down, you're actually able to handle it. But I wish you everything, my friend. I hope this served you in whatever way it did. Keep your lid on. Good luck, and give me some feedback. Leave your feedback in the comment section. If you're not subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe. Feel free to, so you get notified on your YouTube. It shows up in like your special subscription here. And then if you are subscribed, go ahead and click the bell so you get notified when I go live, because I'd like to do free readings on here. So I'll see you next time. Keep your light on. Good luck. Bye-bye. Hey, Paul 3. Okay. How are you holding yourself back? This isn't like a read, okay? This isn't me reading you for filth or anything like that. This doesn't have to be a bad thing. In fact, I think I know what this pile is. This pile is kind of funny. I'm excited to see what the clarifications are. But this is just for us to find out more about ourselves and how we're holding ourselves back. Because sometimes those things are, whatever. We'll see what it is, and then we'll go from there. So you have villain in reverse. Yeah, I know what this is. Okay, because I know what this card was when I was shuffling. I was like, how the f does that make sense? But it does now. I get it. Villain, you can always rewrite the story in reverse. And you also have throne. Your potential is endless. Okay, this is going to be a little zzz, zzz, zzz for some of you folks listening to this video, because how you're holding yourself back is the sun. And this makes so much sense as I reveal this. I'm going to say positive attitude is so good. An attitude of gratitude is so good. These are so amazing. But there's something about positivity that is holding you back. There's something about being the sunshine, being the daisy, being the rose, being the light worker, being the light, being the love that is holding yourself back from yourself. I'm reminded of this verse, like, for God so loved the world that he gave his only son. Love sometimes is sacrifice. Love sometimes is not always pink and yellow. Sometimes love is sometimes love hurts. It just does. And not in a heartbreak kind of way, but sometimes you can feel so much for someone that you actually feel a hand around your heart clenching, because you feel so much for them. You love them so much. And you hear this from, mothers who have a newborn baby. They look at this child and they go, I've never felt so full, so protective, so filled with love, and so scared in my life until I saw this little kid. Same with fathers looking at this child that they have, and they go, I've never felt so much love for something and so much fear at the same time. So love isn't always smiles. Sometimes there is a twinge of pain to it. There is a twinge of fear. There is a twinge of all these other emotions, because these emotions are not bad. They're part of the human experience, and you as a human being having a full human experience, sometimes the socially deemed less than savory emotions, I'm pretty sure so many people have clicked off from this pile, but if you're willing to listen, you're willing to listen, baby. Sometimes those emotions might seem ugly, but they're actually part of the human experience and are there sometimes to protect us. What am I saying? You have villain in reverse. I feel like I'm speaking to somebody who has a hard time being the bad guy. I feel like I'm speaking to somebody who maybe has a hard time showing themselves love and choose to love others. And that is what holds you back. The fact that you don't take the sun for yourself and maybe might only be emitting the sun for others and not so much for yourself. I don't feel like that's the full story. I just feel like this is somebody here who I'm connecting to, somebody who has a hard time being mean, a hard time being strict, a hard time getting what they want for themselves because of a persona that is not a persona. And then I don't mean that in like, you're wearing a mask. Like, no, because of who you've been and who you are. You're love, light, love everybody kind of way. Smack them on the cheek, give them a hug. Like, you're smacked on the cheek, you give them a hug, right? This is somebody who maybe doesn't embrace their anger, who doesn't lash out, who doesn't speak on their anger. And I'm not saying speak when you're angry. I just mean somebody who, when they feel what is commonly societally known as the less than savory emotions, which are all part of the human experience and rightful for you to experience, this could be someone that maybe swallows those feelings, internalizes those feelings, and just wants to give out positivity. And that hurts you. And I feel like that is something that holds you back. It's difficult for you to maybe say no. It might be difficult for you to maybe stand up for yourself. And it doesn't mean that you have to be mean. I've seen people who may have thought of themselves as doormats, went through therapy or something, and they became just bitches. It's like, you don't have to go that hard. You really, like, this is literally a, no, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm good. No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. No, I'm good. Like, it doesn't have to go as hard as this girl was going. Like, it was a war. You had declared war on her if she had to say no. And over the years, it tapered out to her being a lot less volatile, or a lot less I don't know how to describe it. But eventually she found a middle ground where she was able to say no without her having to feel like it's a declaration of, but without it sounding like it's a damn declaration of, like, I just asked a question, bro. I digress. I feel like I'm speaking to somebody who is very positive, prides himself in being positive, only wants to put out positivity, but I want you to question yourself about what that means, what that looks like, and what that could be doing to you in certain areas of your life. Not in all of them, but in certain areas of your life. Sometimes it is right to show people your anger, to show them that you are upset, to show them that you are sad, because you are a human being. You're not an automaton, you're not a robot, you're not an angel, you're a human being. And people sometimes do take certain people for granted, not because they're evil or they're toxic, they're just people. And that's how we've trained them. They will look at you, they'll see you as this sort of type of person. this is something that could be holding you back. That's the message that is predominantly coming out. I've spoken on this for a little longer than I really wanted to. Let's get some clarifiers out here to see if they can add some color to the situation for what's holding you back, or how you hold yourself back. You might not ask for help either. I feel like you're somebody who may not ask for help or find it difficult to. Yeah. Bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. There's so much like instability here. I feel like this part of you that is very sunny, I don't want to say it's killing you, but it's draining you. You know, being the one to shed light, being the one to clarify things, being the one to overextend yourself, being the one to, you know, show the other cheek. It's like sometimes you gotta snap on people. I don't know. It's difficult, but it's almost like the part of you embracing all of you. In this deck, this is the last card of the deck. I'm using the Before Tarot and the Believe in Your Own Magic. And in this Believe in Your Own Magic, there's 3 like different chapters. I don't really get it, but whatever. There's the Princess chapter, there's the Witch chapter, and there's the Mermaid chapter. I don't get it, but this is a triumvirate, right? A holy trinity, if you will. But these are all the different facets of your personality that are not given maybe enough of your light, enough of your time, because your potential is endless, but it might be difficult for you to tune into that part of you that you call bad, which is your anger. And your anger is not bad, it's valid because somebody has done something to make you angry. And I guess expressing that in a way that makes sense. You don't have to shun people or whatever. It's just, you know. We have the Judgment in reverse. We have the Page of Wands. We have the 9 of Swords. Oh, we have the Strength, and we have the 4 of Wands. The Judgment in reverse is interesting. Refusing to me, the Judgment is an energy where, in one of my decks, it said, what are you willing to give up? Like, what are you willing to offer up in order to get the other thing? The thing that holds you back is your inability to tap into what you see as the bad side. So do you think money is evil? Right? Do you think wanting money makes you a bad person? Do you think wanting to make money makes you a bad person? That's something that you may have to sit with and come to terms with within yourself. Do you think wanting to be given to in love makes you bad? Because you don't want to be a taker. You want to be a giver. You got to give love. You got to give love. You got to give love. But no. Like, do you have a problem receiving love? Does that make you feel like a villain? Does that make you feel like the bad guy if you receive love from people? When you allow people to give to you, does that make you feel wholly uncomfortable? Right? Those are the things that I'm talking to here. I'm not talking about slapping people. I'm not talking about raging on people. I'm talking about the parts of you that you think are bad. Where if you say, hey, no, I don't want to talk right now, does that make you a bad person when ad nauseum you've been there for these people? It's things like that. Like the things that you think, oh, I wouldn't do this, or oh, they need me, or da, 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 da. It's like there's like, no. I think you get it. This Page of Wands is really interesting. I feel like you are waking up to this and you're testing it out, right? You're trying, but it keeps you up at night. It's difficult. Of course it is. Our habits are hard to break. Our identities, and they're very hard to break, and they are hard to break in the people around us and the world around us. Oh, you didn't used to act like this. Why are you so different? It's like, well, I can't keep living like that. And it's also scary to enter into that and embrace all of ourselves in that way. So there's something keeps you up at night and is pretty difficult. But I feel like it is unstable. You might be somebody who really might go so hard on certain things in order to sort of fight for your life and fight for your right to your other emotions, and because you haven't yet learned to calibrate them out, there's probably a lot of instability as you try to move forward and stop holding yourself back from expressing the parts of you that you used to think were bad. Yeah. So let's look at what I like this. I like this here. I like these two. I like these two here. It's definitely difficult. I see that. It's difficult, my friend. On a large scale, it's difficult. But I can see that you're somebody who is moving in that direction. Even though it's scary, but that's something that does hold you back, that in certain aspects of your life, you know. Not speaking up. If you toot your own horn and say, I did this, I did that, in a corporate environment, you know, does that make you feel like a villain? Does that make you feel like a bad person if you speak up on your accomplishments? That's how you get promoted in corporate settings. If you don't say, I forgive this person that hurt me, does that make you a bad person? You know, just because you're maybe a light worker, it's just, you know, whatever. What is the guidance to navigate through this energy to get them on the other side? For my person here, we have metamorphosis in reverse. So metamorphosis is wow. And then we have rock bottom at the bottom of the deck. I like that for you in a way, and making a choice at the top. It is difficult. This is the judgment, right? This is the choice that is a reluctant choice to make. That is a hard choice to make, right? But by not making it, you are still making a choice. But I feel like for you, I feel like you are trying. This is a hard habit to deviate from. Because that's who you are. You are a caring person. It doesn't make you any less caring. You're just giving some of that care to yourself or other parts of you that you are interested in, or navigating it elsewhere. If you need to have conversations with people, have those conversations with people. If that will make you feel more in line with you, do that if you need to. But rock bottom being in the reverse talks about you've gone as far down as you can go, and the saving grace in that is that the only way up, the only way through this is up. Like, there's not, once you reach rock bottom, you're done. You cannot go any lower. So the only way to go is up. Metamorphosis here is about transformation, and the transformation that comes through hitting rock bottom. There are times of chaos and darkness that occur, much like the growing pains, experienced by the caterpillar who is in the process of becoming a butterfly. There is a tendency to expect the worst when the first signs of difficulty arise. Definitely, you think that with the Nine of Swords. When something is taken away or unwanted circumstances come to challenge you to let go of old ideas about how life is supposed to be. You are not a victim. Rather, you're experiencing the temporary discomfort we all must go through before the beauty is revealed. So I do feel like you are working on this within yourself in the areas that you need to. This is not a bad thing to be a love and light person. It's not. It's just, you know, in some ways, sometimes certain aspects of us are called to step forward. And when we refuse them to step forward, then we're holding ourselves back from what we need to do. If we only highlight one area of ourselves, that's how you develop a shadow. And that's what shadow work is about, to then go into the shadow and go, hey, the parts of me that I rejected and refused and deemed as unwelcome, I need to go sit with those parts of me. But this is not the scope of what we're talking about right now. I really love talking about shadow work. It's such a near and dear. I don't talk about it nearly enough. I used to talk about it a lot on the channel, but I don't do it anymore. At least the way I think of it. It demystifies, you know, shadow oogie boogie. It's actually a very loving process that we need to do for ourselves. But anyway, my friend, I digress. I'd love to hear your comments and your feedback in the comments. If you're new, please feel free to subscribe And if you are subscribed, definitely click the bell because I go live. And I don't want you to miss your blessing. All right, pile 3, I'll see you next time. I appreciate you. Keep your light on and good luck. Bye-bye. Hey there, pile 1. Hey there, pile 1. So how you're holding yourself back. Oh yeah, that's right. You had the pile with like so many cards that came out. This feels right. Okay, how are you holding yourself back? Ooh. Okay. Lioness. You can't even see these. Lioness. Lighthouse. Spaceship. Can't read upside down, but I can. I did it. Lioness number 13. You've earned all your stripes. Amazing. Lighthouse. Don't doubt your worth. Spaceship. Don't be afraid to sing. I was about to say, so you're holding yourself back. But this is the reading. It's just talking about, yes, you are holding yourself back. This is showing up here. It's just, how are you holding yourself back? I feel like you discount your experiences. You discount how far you've come. I think you compare yourself in a way, maybe not always, but you might compare yourself to other people who are doing it on a larger scale. And you compare yourself to them, but maybe you haven't even started. For some of you, you're like, I don't want to insult you. I don't want to insult you. You have started. You've been in the game for a while. And you're just kind of like, okay, I'm still comparing myself to these big ones. And I'm not where they are, or I can't be where they are. You have the 2 of Wands in reverse. You are losing sight of your dream or your goal or your desire. It feels farther and farther the more time goes. This is to the people who haven't even started, because you're saying, I'm not Beyonce, I can't sing like her. Okay. Or you're somebody who has been singing for a while and you're still looking at Beyonce and saying, I'm not Beyonce, I can't sing like her. Or whomever is a Sia, right? So let's say Sia. Sia is verifiably just, she is an angel disguised as a human. Her voice is just, it does things that I don't understand. You know, I'm not Sia, and you're right, you're not Sia. I don't know you, but you're you. Sia is Sia. Sia, for the longest time, speaking of Sia, she's done so many interviews, or at least what I saw before, where she didn't show her face because she wanted to focus on the music. But really high key, she was like, I'm too ugly. You know, this kind of voice, if they see it coming out of this face, the voice will be discarded. So she knew she had something, but she also like downplayed herself, and this is something that I'm seeing here with you. You're comparing yourself. That's what it comes off as. It comes off as like comparing. You might not be comparing, but it looks like you're gauging yourself in some type of way to a standard that you've seen or set for yourself, right? So let's not say you're comparing yourself to another entity. You might be comparing yourself to, oh, I thought in 5 years by now I'd be here, or I want to be here, I want to be at this level, and you're not. And you're looking at that set gauge that you created for yourself, or that exists in your community or platform or age or love circles, and you're going, damn it, it's just, it feels like it's getting farther and farther away from you. That's the energy of this person that I'm picking up in this pile. Excuse my nails, baby. I did them myself. It's my form of doing something for myself. I just paint them, they chip, I remove them, I paint them again in another color. It's fun. I probably wear like 2 nails a week, 3, I don't know. I digress. You've earned all your stripes. I feel like you're still trying to prove yourself. This one also goes to my students, my forever learners who want to continue learning, to continue learning, to continue taking the classes and may not be doing it yet because they think, no, I have to do this. That's a form of procrastination that I'm intimately aware of. Research. I gotta keep researching. I gotta keep learning. I gotta keep growing. I gotta keep It's part of the process and it's necessary. But I feel like you're not doing the thing for some of you here, right? But that's not, you know this. You know what you're doing. You know how much you're putting in. Luce, I am doing the thing. You are doing the thing for some of you. I'm just seeing some students here, some low levels, who haven't started, who haven't put their teeth in the game, who haven't called the agent, who haven't signed up for the dating site or the matchmaking website, or who haven't really put themselves out there in a way that is meaningful and stuck to it. They know they're worthy. Like, you know you have a gift. That's the thing here. You know you have a gift, and yet I feel like let's clarify this. Because I know you know, but then you say no, I don't know. But then you keep sharpening your saw. You heard that saying before? You sharpen the saw, which is like you keep honing your skill, but you're staying sort of this forever student and not putting yourself out there. But I know in this pile there are some people who are putting themselves out there and have been putting themselves out there, some of you for years, and it still feels like the goal that you have is getting further and further away from you. So how do you hold yourself back? How do they hold themselves back, please, Spirit? To clarify this message. How does pile 1 hold themselves back? 3 of Swords. The potential of getting your heart broken. The potential of finding out that actually the part of you that you do think is worth something may not actually be worth as much as you think. So therefore you don't either try as hard or you don't put yourself out there because you know you're good. But if you do expose yourself to the outside world, they'll see your flaws. They'll be able to point them out and say, haha, that potential heartbreak that's just waiting to happen. And so you hold yourself back. Wow. Wow. Some of you want to give up. I keep asking how you're holding yourself back. How are they holding themselves back? And it's like not taking action. But obviously not taking action. I'm a coach, right? I'm a trained personal development coach. I've coached a number of people. And it's not, the inaction is not the thing. It's the thing behind the inaction that is the thing. So you're not taking action or you're giving up. And I know some of you are taking action. It is such a weird pile. But there's something behind the energy of that action or non-action. And that action is, what if I'm not as good as I think I am? Not that action, that thought that is actually the thing that we're looking at here is how you're holding yourself back is you know you can do it. You know you're good enough. But what if you're not good enough? And so you keep learning, you keep trying to do these things, you keep playing a little bit smaller. If you are playing, you keep, playing a bit small. Because if you do get out there, what if you don't get the clout that you wanted? What if you don't get the thing that you wanted? What if it's shown that you're not actually a good partner? What if it's shown that you're not actually a good lover? What if it's shown that you're actually not an expert in that field? What if it's shown that your ideas don't match what the client wants? What if it's shown that you actually don't get the results that you thought you would get or that you think you get? And so you stay thinking, you stay learning, you stay down, and you don't rise. And that's how you're holding yourself back, because of that potential heartbreak. And maybe for some of you, it's a heartbreak that isn't potential. It's something that has happened before in the past. But that's, I believe, where we've settled on on how you're holding yourself back. That's a big one. We have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, the King of Swords in the reverse, then we have all major arcanas in the upright, with the Devil, the Chariot, and the Wheel of Fortune. What I want to say is you can go far. It's going to take time. But you've stopped. You stopped. I think I was saying this even before. It just feels like somebody stopped. Or maybe you get in and then you get off. You get in and then you get off. You get in and then you get off. With the Devil here, I've been thinking about the Devil a lot lately. Weird things readers say. Oh, God. And to me, it's passion. Right? And I was like, how does that relate to this? But as I was saying that aside, it's passion. The Devil is passion. You are a slave to this passion. And for some of you, the person that keeps learning and not starting and not going, wants to get more information before they launch, before they do. Or the person that keeps waiting for the perfect time. For the person that has been in the game but isn't elevating because they're scared and they keep going and stopping, going and stopping. It's still something in your heart, and it's something that you're highly passionate about. And that's what holds you back. All that pressure that you put on this thing or this idea or whatever it is that we're talking about. It doesn't have to be everything, baby. You make it your world, and that world is crushing you. The amount of fervor that you have for it is crushing it. And there is something here about taking back. I know somebody here is giving up. Somebody here is stepping away. It's just that I think that person steps away and then they come back to it. And that's your business. This is not me yelling at you. This is not me scolding you. This isn't me saying, change this about yourself forever. This is just the thing that is showing you that could be holding you back. And if this is something that resonates, this is tough. This is a lot of the major arcana. And it's funny, for these readings, it's been a lot of major arcana, but these major arcana hit different. There's so much, like, there's a weight here. It's like relying on something, and the fear. Let me clarify. The Lovers. That's so crazy. The choice and the heartbreak continues to stay at the bottom of the deck. The potential heartbreak. Choosing wrong. What if I've chosen the wrong path? What if I've done all these things and it's the wrong thing? What if this is the wrong thing? What if I'm not making it because I've made the wrong choice? These thoughts. I love this Lovers. Ugh, I love this deck. The art is so gorgeous. I love when the Lovers and the Devil come out because it's just the same motif. Being. Two beings. I love it. I'm so here for it. But this is another major. So this is heavy. To remember, this is resonating with this thing that you're dealing with. That's the thing. I don't know if I said it in this reading, but as a coach, like, these are the things that hold you back. It's not the thing of why am I not doing this small thing. It's not that. It's the thought behind that. There's a root. There's a spider with legs inside of us that is, its leg is the manifestation of not doing the thing. But there's a root, right? There's like a bigger cluster, and usually those clusters are thoughts, and it's that thought of I'm good. And yet it's just so much pressure around that. So much passion around that. Maybe you've risked a lot for this thing and it just can't go wrong. Not allowing there to be fault could be something that is also holding you back here. Not allowing there to be room for failure, room for growth, room for pivoting, room for making different choices, and making it the end all be all. Again, giving it so much weight. Let's see what the guidance is here. I'm very curious. What is Spirit? What is the guidance for pile 1? My people that have watched till the end of this read, what is their guidance here? What is their guidance here? What is their guidance here to navigate through this energy and come through it? Details. Yeah, it's about perfection. Oh, that's amazing. I'm gonna read this to you. Well, yeah, it is. Card number 43. Heed the gentle warning that perfectionism will not lead you to what you desire, but instead will steer you away from it. Nothing will be good enough when you become passion, with being perfect. I'm going to say this again. Nothing will be good enough when you become obsessed with being perfect. No one can ever measure up to your scrutiny, and nothing that you can ever do will assuage that general feeling of not being up to par. Oh, say it again for the people in the back, baby. You're perfect already just as you are. Reverse the details card challenges you to accept things as they are in all their imperfections, to step into the world and engage it without expectation. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. So my friends, that's how you're going to navigate this. It's going to take time because of all these majors here and what you're used to. You're going to allow yourself some time to navigate through this perfectionism, this idea, this thing within you. Take it easy on yourself and this dream. I would love to hear your feedback on this reading in the comment section below. If you're not subscribed and this is your first video and you watched till the end, thank you. This must have done something for you. Hi. Feel free to check out the rest of the channel. Feel free to subscribe. And if you're subscribed already, click the bell because you'll get notified when I go live, and I like to do free readings on here. So I wish you everything. Keep your light on, my friends, and good luck. I'll see you next time.